So, 2020 has been an interesting year. Actually, if we're honest, 2020 has been an interesting decade already thus far. For instance, I don't know if you've noticed this because it's super subtle, but I am incredibly gay these days.
Oh, we've noticed.
So what is it you like about butch women exactly? I mean, you've been going on about this for months now. You don't see me waxing poetic about the men I'm interested in, do you? No. Precisely. You know, you can enjoy things without making it a big deal. I mean, why would you make a whole video about the type of woman you're specifically into anyway? Isn't that a bit shallow? You done? Okay, first things first, I do not wax poetic about butch women. What would that even look like? Oh, butch women, how I long to know thee. From the top of their buzzed heads to the bottom of their Vans-clad feet. There is something so magical about a woman who works outside of the patriarchy, that she has taken the mantle of masculinity upon herself. You are stunning, radiant, brilliant, transcendent. We should all aspire to be in the presence of such stunning and powerful people. Okay, so look, I'm by no means a poet. You can say that again. Would though I were, it would be magical and a certain special femme power to be able to have such a way with language that you could string together a series of words in such a way as to create a very picture in someone's soul. I'm a writer, a storyteller, a damn good one at that, but storytelling and poetry are not necessarily the same. They can be, but let's face it, in my case, they're very much not. Nor does my occasional inability to speak with eloquence equate to my talent as a writer. So when I'm asked a seemingly easy question of what is it you like so much about butch women, I find myself tripping over my words and eloquently trying to describe how it is and why it is that a woman who not all that long ago desperately tried to cling to the idea that she was merely a straight woman could turn out nothing could be further from the truth. I struggle with this because, as good of a storyteller as I am, I find the truth to be problematic and, let's face it, kind of boring. Now, this is not to suggest that I'm a liar by any means. It's just that, like many have pointed out before me, I just don't find the truth as interesting. Oftentimes, it's more painful. More often than not, at least in my case, fiction is often more honest as well. Because in fiction, I can be anyone I want. I can exist in any way I want, I can inhabit any body that I want, and I can discover myself in a way that is often difficult in the real world. In fiction, I'm not bound by my physical being. I can see above myself in a way that's otherwise impossible. An unfortunately terrible woman once wisely said, I know what I believe because of what I have written. In my case, I believe that I know who I am because of what I've written. I know who it's possible for me to be because of what I've written. I have hopes and dreams and possibility because of what I have written. I am who I am because of what I have written. It's an old saying that you can't always believe what you think, and I agree with that. But writing exists in a world beyond thought. Writing is, at least to my mind, the closest thing I can stand to meditation. It's the one time where the 500 open tabs that is my brain can focus on one singular task. All thought completely fades away. My focus becomes solely trained on the creation of words and worlds and stories and ideas. In my writing, especially in fiction, I can tap into a version of myself that knows things that I couldn't possibly know and believes things that I wouldn't otherwise believe. In writing, in creating, I'm able to unlock my greatest power. Anything becomes possible. If we do have a soul, I believe that it exists in art, especially in writing, in creating something that will last far beyond our life. It's no wonder then that in writing fiction, I was able to discover a part of myself, or at least see glimmers of myself below the surface. Same-sex relationships between women is not particularly commonplace in fiction, least of all in fan fiction. Most common pairings in fan fiction is between two men. And that's where I found my home as a creator. In them, I could separate myself from the art, enjoy it in a comfortable distance where I didn't exactly see myself, even if I wanted to. I was able, for a short time anyway, to hide behind these pairings. But as often happens, my deep-seated desire to see myself represented manifested itself in my writing. Honestly, it didn't start with fan fiction though. Sure, it expanded what was already there, simmering below the surface, but it was always there. There were certainly original characters whom I adored, and I didn't let myself think about it too much, but it is telling that the character that I always identified with most was, throughout all the rewrites and all the versions I've written of the story over the years, always remained a lesbian. This was the character that I loved the most, the character I identified with the most, a part of myself that I didn't fully realize, another version of me yet to be unlocked, at least parts of her. Looking back now, I guess there always was a sort of fascination with sporty, masculine girls. Even when I thought I could be a straight boy, I always wanted to be seen as the girl. How I longed to be chased rather than being the chaser, to be taken out and have doors held open for me. I remember my first girlfriend in my freshman year of high school. She was an athletic girl, definitely, and I was madly in love with her. I was sort of dealing with my own sexuality in a previous life at that point. Oh God, how do I even describe that? I was still dealing with my previous version of my sexuality at that point, but I did really love her. But I knew that I could never be the sort of boyfriend that she needed or deserved because, well, as it turned out, I was never a boy, no matter what the world around me or society tried to tell me otherwise. That too, come to think of it, was made fully realized by my writing. Working through those thoughts, I was able to discover the fact that I was not simply a feminine gay boy. I was a woman, and I felt for the first time fully whole. I realized then that I would rather be fully myself than try to ever pretend to be something that I wasn't. In writing these strong women who I identified with, I was able to see myself as who I wanted to be, who I was meant to be, who I was. A strong, powerful woman, unquestionably herself. I was allowed to be, at long last, me. Hold on, what exactly does that have to do with your love of butch women? I mean, it was a fairly straightforward question. I mean, look, ask me, what do I like about men? What do you like about men? Easy. I like their, I like dick, okay? I like dick. You know, women can never mind. If only it were that simple. It would be easy to say their walk or their sense of style, that certain swagger, the way in which they carry themselves, the way they look at you and the way the sun shines off their skin, their hands look and their smile looks, the way they can make you feel beautiful and desired all at the same time, the way they make you feel and the way I imagine it feels when you're with them. The truth is, I can't answer it in simple words because it's a feeling that exists beyond words. It's a feeling deep within my femme soul that exists far beyond language. As strange and different as it is, I somehow understand it. Makes sense to me. It's a foundational feeling that every femme that loves a butch just knows, as if on instinct. Even if it takes her time, even if her journey requires many miles, it's a thing she knows without knowing how or why. It's simply there, real and true and unquestionable, an unshakable truth. The answer is, it's everything. The very existence of butch women is what I love. The fact that they see and know and have dealt with the expectations of womanhood and spat in the face of the patriarchy and gone their own way is an act of bravery and self-love that few could understand. That they exist, they are real, and they love women, especially femmes, in a way that is unparalleled. And that is enough for me to understand. Butch women and studs deserve the world. They deserve to be loved and protected and cared for and shown that they are a gift from the goddess and proof that we are loved. I'm so grateful to have discovered it. I am a femme and I worship at the altar of butches and studs because ours is a love that runs deep and true, and they deserve to know that they are beloved. Okay, but like, why not just date men if you're gonna date masculine women? Did you listen to nothing I just said?